Well, it's Saturday, October 14th. We're headed Wolf Creek Dam, do a little trout fishing and camping there at Kendall Campground. Be camping with the wife. So we're headed out now, and we'll see you as we get closer. Pulling in Kendall Campground. Headed down to the creek fishing, and we got us some deer out here this morning. It's a little bit of a drizzle. It's about 52 degrees. Next week is opening, or this weekend is the opening weekend of muzzleloader, and the weather's looking pretty good for it as well. Be able to try out that new ground blind that we put together. Go down here and see if I can't catch some trout this morning. A couple more deer. They're out enjoying this cool morning and light rain. They're out feeding the trout in the hatchery. Drive these trucks up and down the lanes, and they just throw the food out there to them. This is where all your trout comes from around, I don't know how many states they provide for, but I know Otter Creek, where I'm from, up around Fort Knox, they provide the trout out there. Most all your trout is raised out of this hatchery and shipped all over the country. It's a national hatchery. It's a pretty amazing setup. They got troughs or tanks or chutes or whatever you want to call them of different sizes. There's a truck up there on the dam going across the dam. Pretty nice setup. Well, I got him on the stringer, but I've caught the biggest trout I've ever caught in my life. He is a nice one. Fishing a pink salmon carbait with glitter. It's white in color, and almost every cast I'm getting a hit. I've done got 4 small ones now and this one large one. Now I'll start culling them out after this. But man, that's a nice trout.
Yeah, I'm gonna look it up before I get.
Like they never got him in the net. Okay, Rick here, and we're gonna Get the fire going again. Get us a fire going. Nell's going to be making up some steak and potato with some broccoli. Kind of a little thing she enjoys doing when we're out camping. It's fixing up them, I call them a supersize hobo pack. We'll have them in a big aluminum pan. Did a little trout fishing this morning. Caught one of the biggest trout I'd ever caught that I can remember in a long, long time. I think I might have already showed a picture of it. And I was one short of my limit, but by the time I came back and we made a trip up to Walmart and picked up a few more things and came back and sat around the fire for a while. We've been listening to a book online together. We do that when we're traveling, and it got right down to the last 2 or 3 chapters, and I told the wife, I said, I can't wait until we're headed back to find out the ending. So we sit around the fire and listen to the ending of it. I don't know what the name of the book is or the author. The wife does, and says he's a pretty good writer, and I was pretty interested in his story. I didn't think I'd like to listen to an audio book, but that's probably the first one I ever listened to in my life, and it's pretty good on the road when you're traveling down the road, and we both enjoyed it, and you don't have to argue over the radio station or the channel, what channel you want to listen to and all that. I'm a big talk radio kind of guy anyway, not necessarily conservative stuff as much as local news, local weather, local stations and stuff. It's been a pretty good trip for us so far. Get out here and relax, and the weather's been awesome. I think it might have got up to 66 today. But perfect jeans and hoodie weather. The wind's died down. Yesterday that wind was cooking, but it's not any wind at all tonight, so that's better. But anyway, I want to pour me a Jack and Coke and sit here and watch this fire until we're ready to put something on it. It's got to catch a little bit better. I should have started it a lot earlier, but pretty good weekend so far. We wasn't able to get to campground on Friday, so we came down Saturday. Got down in time to listen to all the pregame and UK football. What an embarrassing loss to Missouri. Don't understand it. Don't understand what the deal is. I think they said it was like 14 penalties with 120 yards we gave up. Hard to win a football game when you can't play without any penalties. You're just giving opportunities to the opposing team. It's one thing to have the #1 team in the nation beat you, and they put a whooping on us as it was, Georgia. But to turn around and lose the game to Missouri, that's not good. I mean, we're staring at a bowl game. We can end up losing the next 3 games or winning the next 3. The possibilities are there. Got a bye week coming up this weekend, coming weekend, and then after that we play Tennessee at Tennessee. So unless they get their head in the game, you can almost chalk that one up as a loss. But we'll see. They can win them all or they can lose them all. End the season being 10-2, or we can end it being 5-7. Jack Daniels is tasting especially good tonight. I actually think this is the end of my bottle on my Gentleman Jack, and I'll be busting out some of that single barrel here again. I drank a little bit of it already, got into some of it, but I still had a little bit of Gentleman Jack in the camper. Toby thinks I've gone nuts out here talking to myself. I don't know if any of these other campsites out here are listening to me talk, but this Kendall Campground, it's a Corps Engineer campground. I got one of those America senior passes, and you can't beat the rate on it. I mean, it cuts it down pretty good. I think I paid $25 for 2 nights. Friday night, Saturday night, or no, Saturday night, Sunday night, and we'll leave Monday. every spot is filled up. We drove out earlier, like I said. I think we ran up to Walmart and drove out, and there was several camp spots open, but there was also a line to the dump station. We managed to get around it, but by the time you get to Walmart and get back, then they start pulling in and filling up. Sunday being a transition day, some of the local schools, I think they had their fall break last week, and some of them might have it this week. They kind of rotate them around. Of course, we could have out-of-staters that are down here and all that, but Kendall stays pretty full all the time. I mean, when you try to get a reservation, if you're not looking 3 and 4 months ahead of time, you kind of grab what you can. And like I wanted to try to get Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, but I was only able to get Saturday, Sunday, and Monday, so we took it, and here we are. Now, I do pretty much the same thing. If I'm down at the barn, you know, I can sit outside with a fire, sit inside. I'm ready to start a fire on the inside, but last week was a perfect week to have one. But I need to check an elbow in my stovepipe on the outside, make sure it's not rusted out. And I was working in the garage up by the house, building some shelves up there, trying to get things organized in it. I just got boxes and boxes and boxes of Christmas stuff and just stuff. And I'm not a big fan of saving stuff, but we just need to go through it and organize it. And it was easier for me to just build some shelves and try to get the floor cleaned up a little bit and get it to where I can get both vehicles in get the car and the truck in the garage, because everything's saying we're going to have a pretty snowy winter. The wife, she substitute teaches for the county, and so it's a lot easier in the mornings when you can go in the garage and crank up a vehicle and head out without having to defrost it and break ice and all that on the outside, leaving it outside all the time. Same with the car. Just so many people have garages that they can't get their cars in, and to me it just doesn't make sense. And I certainly do my best to make it to where I can park everything in there, but I got so much stuff in there too, though. I got my lawnmower and I moved all my lawn equipment from the barn up to the garage, because that's easier for me to work out of the garage with the garden and the lawn and all that anyway. And so that works out good for me. But that's also taking up space. You want to go back in, Toby? Huh? You want to go back in?
Whenever the flame goes down a little bit, try to make a ring and then put these in the middle so they're not on direct heat.
Okay. Yeah, I should have started this earlier.
Well, when I looked at it earlier, the coals were nice, and that's why I was like, hey, you want to start now, but...
Yeah, should have started then, because they were nicer a lot earlier.
Yeah. The thin one is mine, and this one's yours. Yours has onions in it.
Oh, okay, good. Thank you very much. think that'll meet the wife's intent. Got the fire at the center open. Don't have the food directly over the flames. There's certainly some nice campers out here. The game plan is when I retire from the government working for civil service, which will be in December of 2025, we're going to start out on a year-long RV trip across the United States. And I told the wife, I said, when I retire on the 31st of December, I'm ready to head out on the 1st of January, and we'll head south. And we'll go south just far enough to where we're not in freezing weather or whatever. And we got a whole year to do this, so we can plan it out ahead of time. I've told her before, I said, if there's someplace you want to go, let's plan it out. Let's go on and lay it out. But at the same point, we're in no big hurry either. I don't want it to where you have to rush to get from one spot to the next. If we can get to a spot and stay there a week or stay there 2 weeks, I don't care. And then we'll move every other week or something like that and just stay down south until it gets to about 80 degrees. And once the temperature starts hitting 80, 85, we start our way up north and head up in California or whatever the case may be. Utah, over in the western states, head north. Try to keep that temperature below 80 as much as possible. Otherwise, we'll be just moving from spot to spot and trying to stay comfortable inside the camper all the time, and that's not what I want it to be about. I'm on one of these RV living on Facebook pages, and good Lord, you read it, you read the questions all the newbies have, and then you listen to the answers, and it just makes you want to stay home. It's like, why are we even thinking about this? There's so much negative misinformation. Very seldom is there anything positive about camping. You know, going across country, going camping. And I don't know, maybe it's just brutal honest truth or whatever, but I'm sitting in here in a campground right now. I don't know how many sites are in here. There's well over 100. The whole place is filled up, and everybody seems to be having a good time. Campfires are out, their lights are all up, the decorations are out. Kids riding bicycles and stuff, skateboards. Went down to the Hatchery Creek this morning, and there's a good 15-20 people out fishing, and to me that's what it's about right there. I can hear radios out in different campgrounds, country music or whatever playing. guy across, he's got a TV on the outside of his, was watching football earlier. But you get on this Facebook site and somebody will ask a question about TV, and 15 other people say, well, what do you got a TV for in your camper? Said, you need to be sitting outside, enjoying the outdoors, enjoying life, and enjoying the what nature has for you, not inside watching your TV. Well, football is important. I sat and listened last night all the way until, I listened the whole game out last night, so you're talking, it was about 10:30 at night before the game was over. Then I went inside and listened to post-game shows all the way up to past midnight, well past midnight. And who says that when we're out camping and we're operating off a digital antenna, that's a whole different ball game of TV for us. I get to watch grit TV and get to watch some of the old westerns that I don't normally watch if I were at the house. So it's just always, somebody's always negative to other people. Is lights, it's lights. We got these blackout lights for our curtains so that, so we don't get any light from outside. We don't get the sun from outside. But in my bedroom, I don't have one in there, and the neighbor's camper's got the brightest lights, and it gives me a migraine, and I'm like, good Lord. It's just like they're miserable all the time. Don't even ask a question about tire pressure. My Lord. You could post a picture of a camper and just show a little bit of it, and they'll get into arguments over your axles are upside down. The axles on the campers were put in there upside down. Or any camper made after COVID is a piece of crap. They're all craps. There ain't a camper one that's made after 2020 that's worth a darn. It's like the people just quit producing quality stuff, and the companies did, and they cranked out all these campers and China pop tires, and the dealers are all out to get you. If you said you bought a camper from Camper World, you might as well said that you slept with the devil that night. Yet I see Camper World pushing out campers left and right all week long. It's just negative stuff. So I don't know why I still listen. Some of it's humorous. But a lot of it, I just need to get off the site, period. That's what I need to do. There's YouTube channels out there. I didn't mention this in my Friday night cigar video, but on the top 10 plus YouTube channels I watch, but I do watch one called Happily Ever Hanks. And Happily Ever Hanks is a couple that's RVing across the country and stuff, and they'll tell you that roads are rough, and you will have flat tires and stuff like that, but you deal with it. I mean, it's just the fact of RVing that you got to look at and live with and deal with, and they try to give a positive spin on it and tell you the things you need to be prepared for, and satellite coverage and not having satellite coverage, or gas, you know, going up into Canada, cost of fuel and the distance between fuel stations and stuff like that. That's important stuff to know. And they're just good, positive people, and they share their experience with you and give you a breakdown of everything. And they're pretty helpful. I mean, they they uh, they make it seem like this is something that I can do. And good Lord, if I ever found out I was over 60 years old, I mean 69 years old, I'm too old to do anything. I'm too old to set up a camper, or I'm too old to put the awning out myself, and too old to carry firewood, you know. It's like they talk about these people, they retire, and you got these old people out there that just can't handle the work that has to be done, and they put you in the case of helplessness instead, when it's good for us. It's better than sitting at home on the couch watching TV all the time. But I am looking at these campers out here, and we're definitely not going to go cross country in the one we got. Going to be looking for a new truck, one that can pull a decent camper. And then possibly getting a newer camper. I don't know that we'll get a brand new one, but we'll get a newer one that we think can make it across country and back.